by living a life of interfaith and multi-faith principles, that you can get something out of everything. In the spiritual sense, there is something for everybody in all that's going on a daily basis for us. So now when you pass by a menorah, you might be, more willing to look at some of the deeper concepts of aliveness and kindness and compassion as we look at the menorahs that are out there with us this day. And in our words of wisdom, there is also a reading in there from Zechariah that is the flavor and the deeper sense of what Hanukkah can also mean, and something that we can utilize in our lives. And that is not by might nor by right, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. So that idea of living a life of principles rather than drama. Living a life of principle rather than has to be this way. Living a life by principles, by spirituality. Not by might and by right, but by my spirit. Where is the spirit? Where is my faith? How do I have passion for this light? How do I keep it alive and vibrant in my life? Or am I constantly turning it off, tuning it down, muting it by the everydayness of living? It is a challenge always to make our lives a festival of light, but it's certainly possible. We have the wondrous poetry of Rumi that Reverend Gerard read during our meditation today. And one of the things that Rumi has given to us is this beautiful poem, which I love to share. I'm going to share another one here with you. This one is called The Guest House. And he says, this being human, is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house, empty its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out with some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So here we are, called in faith to welcome all that comes to us in our lives, to ground ourselves and deepen ourselves. And what we are given over and over again is more and more tools to help uplift us, to carry us, to rekindle that light within us. Each day we are called to be the lovers of life, living our lives fully, reaching out to others. You know, Rumi was he was a challenge to all those around him. Always, constantly being in this love affair with the divine. Imagine a life constantly being in love with the divine. As we've said many times here at this gathering of light, that the divine is in love with you. You are meaningful. Imagine yourself now as that lover whose love is not returned. That unrequited love, waiting patiently. This is the divine with each and every one of us. How do we wake up in the morning? Do we kindle the lights? We are asked each day. When I walk in my house, I walk right up to my mantle, and the first thing I do is I light a candle. I'm home. reflection with the corner of my eye. And I remember. And I check in and I say to myself, what can I do in this moment? How is my love being expressed? Or have I shut the door on this divine lover and not answered that call for love, being constantly sent my way? And so I might need a song, I might need a prayer, I might need to reach out and pick up the phone and make a phone call. I might need to do a little work. And life calls and says, no, get busy, this is more important. But as a spiritual being, holding on to those principles, I will trust in them and allow them to lead the way. And so, becoming silent as one of the words, all of our prayers of peace and all of the words in here are all from Rumi, the declaration of intent, all Rumi, constantly calling that come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. We are all, at some point, that lover of leaving. Leave me alone. Let me shut down and shut it off. But I'm here to remind you that that is more painful than doing another simple step of turning closer and turning inward to that light, to that love, to the divine. To truly be happy, to truly know love. So this is a festival, it is a celebration, it is a reminder. And as another thing that Rumi says, he says, now is the time to unite the soul and world. Now is the time for sunlight dancing, united with the shadows. There are plenty of shadows in our world. We know better. And as we come together in community and do those simple things of reaching out to each other, we help kindle the lights for another. And this kindling and growing is such a blessing. It is such a blessing. And it will carry us. And it will hold us no matter what we do. There is something that Rumi had said. And he talked about Muhammad, prophet. And he said that it is said that after Muhammad and the prophet's revelation does not descend upon anyone else. It's only the prophets. They know. You know, Reverend JoAnn's got it. Okay, she can come here and she can say it and she can tell us. She's got it. There are days when I don't have it. But I know the tools to pick it up and make it happen. I'm not afraid to kneel beside my bed. I'm not afraid to stop in the midst of whatever I'm doing to say a prayer. I'm not afraid that in a crowded restaurant and all busyness going on, to stop and have a moment of grace. Simple things that are profound, that each of one of us should be more excited, more enthused about creating in our lives, because these things carry over. And that's why Rumi said, why not? Why not? He said, in fact, it does, but when it's not called revelation when we do the simple things. The believer sees within the light of God. When the believer looks within, the believer sees the light of God. When the believer looks with God's light, he sees all things, the first and the last, the present and the absent. For how can anything be hidden from God's light? And if something is hidden, then it is not the light of God. Therefore, the meaning of revelation exists, even it is not revelation. So in other words, it is just the simply everyday things that we do. You opening up your guest house and inviting one comes, knowing the higher principle. Having that faith, knowing not by might or by right, but by my spirit. That spirit of the divine is patiently waiting. loving you in every moment. Return the love. Return to the one. Return to light. This holiday celebration, as we see the lights everywhere, remember this is a festival of light because you are the light. May you bring a bright light with your awarenesses and shine all of the menorahs and lights that you see everywhere. And so it is.
So it is.